This is her name, founder of Anna Ministries. Welcome her to the stage. What is going on, my sister? Where are you? Where are you tuning in from?
From New Jersey. Can you hear me well?
Oh, you in New Jersey? Okay, that's what's up. Yeah, I can hear you real good. I can hear you now.
Awesome.
From New Jersey. All my friends are from New Jersey. So
Where are you from?
I'm actually in Georgia. From Georgia. Never left. Just stayed in Georgia my whole life. I don't get out much. So,
Okay.
that's me. But yeah, so your name is Lisa, and you're the founder of Anna Ministry. So why is it Anna Ministry? Where's
An
the
acronym for A Neighbor's Atonement. When I was looking for a ministry name, I decided to go for Anna, which was my sister. That was her first name.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. But you're Lisa,
Yes.
and your sister's name is Anna.
Yes.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. So we're
That stands
gonna.
for A
Mhm.
Neighbor's Atonement.
So you're saying the Anna, it stands for.
Is the acronym for A Neighbor's Atonement.
Oh, okay, cool. So a neighbor's atonement.
Yes.
Cool. And what are you planning on, like what is your goal with the ministry? Anna's my bad. A neighbor's atonement ministry.
Yes, is exactly what it says. Is for a neighbor's atonement. My biggest wish is for anyone who comes across my ministry to build a relationship with God through Jesus Christ, to have that atonement. That atonement is at one, becoming one with God through Jesus. So that is my biggest goal, is for through my ministry that they grow closer to God.
Okay. Well, before we get started, a lot of stuff I want to cover. We're just going to go ahead and pray
Okay.
and make sure that we're all in one accord. Lord God, everybody in the chat, bow your head, close your eyes, give your life to the Lord today. Lord God, I thank you for bringing us together, Lord. This is all to benefit your kingdom, Lord. We want to, help people, but also have fun at the same time, God. And we want to bless people, Lord. And we want to, even though we're bringing light and we're being, fun people, God, we still want everyone to know that the stuff that we're covering, Lord, very serious, and we don't want our audience to take it lightly, Lord God. Allow them to see the truth, Lord. Allow them to benefit from this, and allow them to give all the glory to you, God. And in Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen.
Yeah, so I guess you can start out with how you got started with this ministry. I mean, I saw you're doing TikTok, and you got a lot of views on TikTok, and it seems like you're really getting it out there.
Yeah, well, basically, it was a combination of things. If you would have asked me last year, or if you would have told me last year, hey, you're going to be, preaching the word of God, you're going to be having a ministry, I would have thought you were crazy, because I'm actually painfully shy. I am very shy when it comes to groups or talking, in front of the audience. I am, like, right now, I'm like hot, sweaty because I'm nervous.
It's just the
I'm
Holy
just a shy.
Ghost.
So it's weird that I felt very compelled to do this, because I don't really like speaking in front of people, but I did feel called to do it. So I can't describe it. It's just I was called to do it.
Well, that's good. That's just the Holy Ghost. You feel it, all that heat. That's what I feel. God's just moving. You just gotta let that happen. If you start
Yeah.
speaking in tongues right now, we're just gonna shut it down and
Oh,
go into prayer. So, no worries here. You can be comfortable. Um, so let me see. So, okay. So you've had a big transition. You've gone. I mean, a lot of people have a transition. I just want you to kind of briefly explain how you've come into the mindset that you have now versus, what you did have, because that's a transition that a lot of people don't make. It's kind of scary, the fact that you probably could have stayed that way. So how did that transition happen? And just explain basically, the transition.
I would say it wasn't really just one thing that happened that just caused me to switch over and say, hey, I'm going to surrender. I would say it was a combination of things throughout my life. Each event just brought me closer to God. Each trauma, each pain, each heartache, and even each joy, each thing was just kind of one step in that direction. I was brought up a Catholic. And so I did my confirmation, my communion. I was baptized as a baby, went to mass every Sundays. But one thing that was lacking was relationship. I didn't have a relationship. And so when I was a teen, my mom then went into a non-denomination church. She switched over. And then I just remember when I went, the pastor was just preaching and, it was just a different vibe. I just remember being there like, man, I want this, I want to belong to a church like this. So, and then after that, I departed from the faith and was like a rebel. I became a mom at 18. So you could imagine that's an 18-year-old, a baby having a baby. And then after I left his father, my life just went downhill spiral. I mean, I was just very into the flesh, doing what I wanted. And then I became super depressed, absolutely depressed. I didn't feel like I had any purpose. And so it just, once you hit rock bottom, there's only one way you can go, and that's up. You can choose to stay in the, and dwell in that, self-hatred energy, or you can decide, I need to get up from this place. And so it's just from that point, I just started to, work on myself. I enrolled into college because I didn't go to school right after high school. I did everything but, get my life together. I was doing anything and everything. So I enrolled into college at 26. So I was a late starter. And then I moved out of my house, out of my mom's parents' house, got my own apartment, and, was working. So everything from that point just started to go up in a slow hill battle, right? Like it was just like that. And then when I was 31, so I'm 34. When I was 31, I kid you not, right? I don't like, how I mentioned, I don't like the attention. So I'm not the type to be public speaking. But for some reason, when I was 31, I said, I want to celebrate my 32nd birthday. I want to throw myself a birthday party. So I remember I had this theme. I was going to do a 90s theme. And I went and I built all the props. I had a life-size Rubik's Cube. I had the DJ paid for. The hall was paid. Everything was like already. My birthday is March 14th. So remember the date, March 14th. So now I'm 31. It's March 10th. And I am just, I'm just excited. Oh my goodness, my birthday, my 32nd birthday. And then my sister calls me and she's like, hey, you're going to be spending like a couple $1,000 on this party. Like, why not just have a dinner? Why not just do something small and, just call it a day. Like, there's no need to have a big party. And I remember vividly saying, I don't know if I will be alive by the end of this year. And I feel like I want to celebrate life. She said, okay. That was March 10th. We switched back and forth. We went back, and remember, I started college late. So I started at 26 and then I was done by 30. So my graduation was when I was 31, May of 2019. So it's March 10th. And I remember she texted me and she's like, I am super proud of you. I can't wait to see your graduation. I love you. And, that was it. I go to bed that night and I'm getting a phone call at 4 in the morning. And my phone is just ringing and ringing. I wake up, I'm like, who's calling me this late? And finally, when I pick it up, it's my cousin. And I'm thinking, my mind was literally thinking like, is she partying right now? And, is calling me, I just didn't know what was happening. And then I get the phone call and she says, Lisa, I'm so sorry to tell you, your sister Anna passed away. And I just remember being rocked to the core. I'm like, we just spoke. She was just sending me pics. She just told me she loved, like, what? Like, I didn't understand, how does someone just pass away like that overnight? She was not sick. She was fine. She was perfectly fine. And I asked to speak to the nurse because I didn't believe it. The nurse confirmed it with me, and she said she's, we're here in the hospital. She's, deceased. And I'm like, so then I had to drive to my mom's house, and I had to break the news to my mom that her firstborn daughter is no longer alive. So my sister's wake ended up falling on my birthday, March 14th. I saw my sister in a casket. So it's funny how, how they say that saying, when you make plans, God laughs, right? You have a plan, I'm doing something. I planned to do his birthday party. Instead, we ended up planning a funeral. And it was weird because it was the birthday party that I was the most excited about. And it turned out to be the worst. Shortly after, 2 months after that, which was my graduation, I didn't even want to go. I was like, I don't have my sister. I don't have my rock, my best friend. I don't want to go. But then I remember that the very last text that she sent was, I can't wait to see you at graduation. I love you. And so I went, and it was very hard. It was very hard. And then the following year, which was now 2020, so that's last year, I had this friend who I knew since I was 12. We pretty much grew up together. We met when we were in middle school, and then we just kind of like grew up. And I remember when he and we were 19 years old, he was in a relationship and he had broken up, and he had called me and he said, Lisa, I'm going to kill myself. I don't want to be alive. And I remember I drove to his house. I remember sitting at the edge of his bed, and he was there, and I've never seen cuts so deep in my life. His arms, it was the deepest cuts I've ever seen. And it was so scary. And I just remember I was talking to him. I'm like, you have value. Like, don't ever think that, this person, this woman, this girl, she's not going to matter. She'll think about you and she'll be over it. I'm like, if you die, I'm like, she'll think about you for like 2-3 months, and then she's going to be over it. I'm like, but your family, your future, you're forsaking all of that for somebody that's not going to think of you past 2 months. So then I just remember I spoke to him about his value. I said, you have value, you have value. So then I felt comfortable enough to leave that night. So I did. And that was when I was 19. And then throughout the years, he would reach out to me because I felt like he always felt comfortable with me as far as opening up with his depression. And then for me, I always, was there for him. Anytime if he posted something that seemed a little bit on the depressive side, I would call him right away. Hey, let's talk this out. Let's go over this. Well, now fast forward to last year, February of 2020, I noticed that he had posted something on his Snapchat. And I don't know if you use Snapchat, but you can see if you don't have to click on it in order to see what somebody's posting. You can see like a glimpse of what they have.
Right.
And I remember in that glimpse I saw, it said, friends stop you from going over the edge, or something like, it's friends that keeps you from going over the edge. And I remember when I saw that, I promise you, I remember I rolled my eyes and I was like, here we go again. This kid is depressed again. And I did not reach out. It was the one time I didn't reach out because I'm like, it's just for attention. So, I just started thinking it was the person that cried wolf. But then the next day, I have a mutual, friend that also went to school with us, sends me a DM, and she says, Lisa, you're not going to believe who committed suicide last night. And I'm like, well, who? And I'm thinking as a teacher, somebody that we know, or like a kid that we don't really talk to. But then when she said it was my friend,
wow.
I chose not to, the one that I ignored when I saw his post, the one that I didn't call, I broke down like I remember sitting on the top of my stairs, and I had my head on my hands, and I was repenting so much, saying, Lord, please forgive me. I'm sorry I failed him. I'm sorry I failed him. I saw he was depressed. I saw it, and I didn't reach out. The one time I didn't reach out. So I feel, then towards like September, October, God placed it in my heart to start a ministry, to reach out to the lost souls, reach out to the people that are depressed, be the light, the salt and light of the earth. When you look at social media, you see people promoting OnlyFans. You see people promoting promiscuity, their cleavage, sin. And God called me to promote purity, modesty, holiness, righteousness. So I decided, I'm like, okay, is this coming from God, or is it just my ideas? Is it just me thinking, like, I just, been through trauma? Is it just me? So I waited a couple months, and the desire grew stronger. So then finally I decided that I was going to start my ministry. And then I decided to use the name Anna, which was my sister's name, rest in peace. And that's where it all began. And for me, my conviction, I got baptized in December of 2020. So I recently got baptized, and I recently became born again. But one of the things that was stopping me from getting baptized, I would say one of the things that before I got baptized, I knew I had to give up, was sex. I knew that if I was going to walk this walk with Christ, I was going to have to really, let go of that sinful living. And at the time I did have a relationship, and I just remember I said to him, I said, look, if you want to leave, that's okay with me, but I'm going to surrender to the Lord. And, of course, because he was worldly, it didn't work out. But I know for me, I made my choice in December, and I've been surrendered to the Lord since.
Wow. That's crazy. It's crazy because that what you went through is enough for people to say, I hate God. It's just
Yes.
crazy when you see. That's why I always say, when those people go to Judgment Day, they're gonna say, why didn't you come to me? God's gonna be like, why didn't you come to me? And he's gonna say, well, this happened and that happened. And now he's gonna say, Lisa, come here, tell him your testimony. And boom. That's what people don't get. He's gonna say, Lisa, tell her your testimony. Tell them what you just told me. And then they're gonna hear that, and they're gonna say, man. And a lot of them gonna say, she went through worse than me.
Yeah.
It's always somebody that's been through that pain and that suffering and that hurt. And God's gonna have a line of people that's been through so much, and he's gonna say, look, you don't understand the power of God. We really don't. It's like we really don't understand how amazing that is. Like I've never been through that, so I can only imagine. I don't know. I know God gives his biggest battles, to his strongest warriors. So obviously God had this for you. Obviously God had this ministry prepared for you. And I always say, if you keep one person from committing suicide, you keep one person from saying, then you understand what it's about. Just one person. Yeah. It's amazing. And I see a lot of I've seen some of your TikTok. So you actually put your real stories in there. Yeah. Because some people, maybe they're just showing examples, but this is you.
Yes. I use my life story. Sometimes I do use other people's stories, but I get I get influenced by my own experience. And then there's so many more things that I've endured, that I've experienced, that I'm going to keep, talking about. I'm going to show others as a testimony. It's so many things,
That's amazing. And I want to really quickly go through some of the quotes that you have on your page, and then you can just explain them. One thing you said, people will say, now this was funny to me. People will say Jesus isn't real. Make fun of God in the Bible, and then go pick up some colorful rocks and say,
listen,
say crystal heals energy. Or what does it say? And say the crystals what heals energy.
Sage. The saging, the horoscopes. People build their personalities on horoscopes. They say, "Oh, you are a Pisces. That means you are very sensitive. You do this, you do that," and then people kind of conform into that. It's a lie, but they turn around and then they don't believe in a creator of the universe. They think that this just all exploded into existence. I said, look at this. Our fingerprint is unique. You mean to tell me that is a complete accident? Try creating something with nothing. only God can do that. Only God can command with his voice and it be done. But not us. We can't. And we're finite. So it does blow my mind when I try to talk to people and they believe in all these things, but they don't believe in a creator, because I guess to them it's foolish, or it seems very fairy tale-ish, because they think, oh, a big bearded, I just did a recent one where they think it's a big bearded man in the sky. And I said, why are you giving God finite features? Why are you giving him features of a human being? He's not human, he's spirit. He's infinite.
Right.
You declare the glory of God when you look at the heavens. You can't count the number of stars. You can't put physical features on an infinite being. You can't. That's why he doesn't want a
Right.
great, And so these are the things where I try to like catch them in their own, errors, their own ways. But
Yeah.
I've been ministering to one of my best friends who is an atheist. She's now agnostic.
Okay.
With
Okay.
step in the right direction.
Sorry, I had to. Amen.
So,
Hallelujah.
that's something that to me feels good. When I tell you we've been ministering I've been ministering to her for like 8 months now. It's been a while. She's my toughest one right now, but I know she's very analytical. She went to Columbia University and Cornell. So for her, everything is all logical and all. So I try to get into that mindset, and I was able to get her to agnosticism. So she's like, okay, well, maybe there's a God.
Yeah, we need to have her on. You call her up right now. No, but yeah, we should. I would love to have a conversation with an atheist on here. I love talking to atheists. They have some very interesting conversations, which it's when it's only logical, it actually kind of cancels out the logic. Reason why is because you're forgetting that supernatural things happen. Things outside of logic happen. Things that we can't explain.
So they wanted to know her name. Her name is Heather. They said they want to pray for her. I just saw somebody wrote that.
Okay.
But you know what? I also know when it comes to atheism and things of that nature, I have presented some pretty solid evidence, because I even said, okay, she grew up Jewish, and then she just departed from that, and now she was an atheist. I showed her scripture in Isaiah, and I said, look, it talks about being pierced hands and feet. It talks about being led like a slaughter, and so and so forth. I said, who does that sound like? Doesn't that sound like Jesus? Isn't that prophesying Jesus? Oh, well, that could be anyone. And I saw somebody, I don't know who it was, but on YouTube, I saw that, I think it was maybe Dr. Frank Turek, where he said, it's not a mind issue, it's a heart issue. They don't want it to be true, because if it's true, they're going to have to turn from their ways. They're going to have to give the fun life that they're accustomed to. So I realized that a lot of the times, you have to plant the seed as best as you can and let God and let the Holy Spirit convict. We can't do much but just preach.
I like Turk. Who's some other people that you listen to?
Ray Comfort. Right now, I watch them all. I could sit. I work from home, so what I do is I put on YouTube, and as I'm listening, I'm working. I can listen to Christian apologetics all day, because it helps me defend my faith. It helps me to become stronger in knowledge wise.
Yeah, and William Lane Craig, that's the GOAT right there. Frank Turk, he's good too. He's good too.
He's from Jersey. He's always yelling.
Yeah, trying to feed his kids. That's Frank Turk. Yeah, I'd love to meet that guy one day. That would be cool.
Yes.
Let's see, and then you say, oh, by the way, let's see. So you believe in the. I don't want to get too far into this, but you believe in the Trinity? Yes,
Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
Okay. Because what I wanted to, I don't know who, I wanted to discuss that with somebody, So eventually I want to have because my view of the Trinity, my view of the Godhead is slightly different. But like I said, I didn't really want to discuss it today, but I'd like to touch on it someday, with somebody. So yeah, if you're ever interested in, having a conversation about that, more than welcome.
Okay.
Somebody wanted to speak about it. I you can see my material and my views. I guess I more associate with I don't know, David Bernard, Marcus Rogers. I'm more on that, but
Mm-hmm.
we can always talk about that. But then you said people taking pictures of their deceased. Now, this I've never seen this before,
Mm-hmm.
where they're bringing their family back through animation. And
Oh,
you said Deuteronomy 18:10, there shall not be found, was it anyone that maketh his son or daughter, this printer is messing up, anyone maketh through the fire or useth divination or let's see, enchanter, which it's talking about, witchcraft and stuff like that.
well, did you
Like
see
that.
that? Did you see people doing that app?
I saw the one that you posted. I've never seen that before. I was like,
So,
yo,
friend, there was this.
that freaked me out, bro.
It was, yeah. Let me tell you that there was this trend where you take a picture of your deceased loved one, you upload it into the app, and that app is going to bring them to life by through animation. They're going to be looking, they're going to look at you, they're going to smile. It's like they're coming back to life. Now, I did get a lot of positive feedback on that post, but some of them were calling me crazy. They're like, "Oh, you're a crazy Christian woman that thinks everything is evil and demonic. This is just a picture, and just an app." I said, "Listen, no, I'm not the crazy Christian woman. The problem is these are deceased people." I said, and the reaction that some people were having were extreme. I mean, people were crying. I think to myself, if I uploaded a picture of my sister and then I see her looking at me smiling, I'm gonna be crying. Like, that's not something small. That's a huge thing. And they're like, it's just an app. And I said, but there's spirits behind that. And you don't know what portal you're opening when you mess around with these types of things. It's almost like witchcraft. You're like bringing something to life. And I was warning people because I said, I know this trend is coming out and I know people are just doing it. I said, but use wisdom. I didn't say don't do it or do it. I try to just point them and guide them towards that direction of wisdom and discernment. And I did have some people that did reach out to me and say, hey, I was gonna do it. I came across your post and I decided I'm not gonna do it because it makes sense. It's true. It seems like you're tapping into uncharted territory. Like, we shouldn't be bringing the dead back. We shouldn't be having them animated and smiling at us. Like, if you have any old videos and pictures, by all means, watch them and have memories. But don't bring them through a different picture that wasn't the intent. So it's pretty scary with technology and how things are headed. I definitely do think that there are some evil spirits behind it.
If someone disagreeing, it's just technology, no difference than a video.
So I have a question to that. So how about a video that's mocking Jesus? Is that just a video? Isn't it still disrespectful? There's certain things. My nephew gave his husband an animated pic of his deceased father he never met.
Okay, so basically he's trying to bring out a positive view of this was his whole chat gonna be about today, I guess. My nephew gave my husband an animated pic of his deceased father with our daughter who he never met. Well,
but I feel that
yeah,
that's what God is. If God if that's we're going against God's net design or will. If they never met, that wasn't God's will. Does that make sense? We're forcing
yeah,
it. We're becoming almost gods ourselves and trying to do things despite how they happen.
yeah. As far as my view, I guess I don't really have too much of an opinion, but the thing is that people do have to understand, like you said, there is a discernment that people need to at least pray about. Because you could take this as far as cuss words, you could take this to, can a man sag his pants? You know what I'm saying? Because the Bible says modest apparel. Like, everybody has their own opinion of what that means. Everybody has their own opinion of what words can come out of their mouths before it makes them unholy. There are some things that are just standard in the Bible. Don't murder, things like that. Stay away from the signs. Like I always tell people, it's like, what's your sign? Oh, I'm a Libra, but I identify as an Aries. And they look, I'm thinking they're gonna get a laugh out of them, right? But they're like, oh, okay. got you. I was like, what? That makes sense to you? I don't. We're really far gone. You know, like if the sign. I asked this one girl. I said, what are the flaws? I think she was a Taurus or something. I don't know. I mean, that's how she's identified. I don't identify with any of the signs. Um, she says she's a Taurus. So I said, what are the flaws of a Taurus? You know, sometimes we can be too real. I'm like, so is that a flaw? Like, nah, because sometimes we gotta be real when it's the time presenting. I was like, okay, so what are the flaws? Is what I asked you. What are the flaws? Like I said, we can be too real sometimes. Sometimes it's inconvenient for other people. I'm like, the whole point of me even bringing this up is if my sign, like technically October would fall around that Libra, right? Libra is Scorpio, but my birthday will fall around where the Libra is. So they were very indecisive. So when I heard that, I was like, hey, bro, where you want to eat? Waffle House. Waffle House. Let's go to Waffle House. I don't know. Let's go to Waffle House. I'm just making decisions now. So I'm not going to let that tell me what my issues are and then accept those issues. That's one clear issue.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of this stuff if you just discern it, if you just pray about it, like you may see something there that maybe you can't like quite put your finger on it, what it is, like a bad relationship. Like, I don't know, it's something wrong with what I'm experiencing in this relationship, but I can't put my finger on what it is. And you may have never had a good relationship, you know, so you don't understand. But there's just some discernment going on, you know. So people gotta. That's my whole point. People gotta pray for discernment in those times, because I feel like that's really what it comes down to. When you see that there's some discernment. I mean, honestly, if I have a deceased loved one and I see that, I might like, okay, cool, but I really don't want to see it. You know, that's just me. I don't want to see my loved ones brought back with animation, but you know, if somebody does it, like you said, I just pray about it, bro. Just pray about it.
Yes.
So let's see. So you answered that. So right now, we're gonna get into some fun stuff here, so people can really learn who Lisa is. Yeah. And where are you from, by the way? So you have some. Yeah.
Both
yeah.
parents.
You said what?
Dominican, both parents.
Dominican. Oh, okay. So, ¿tú hablas español?
Sí.
Okay, aprendiendo.
En español, con títulos en inglés, pero I just need a better topic. Like, I need a topic so I can get to like the Spanish speaking audience.
Oh, okay, cool. Because I'm trying to do some music in Spanish. So if you know someone, you know, hook me up, because I'm trying to get some Spanish stuff going. You know what I mean? So that'll be cool. And then we'll get to the questions. I just threw that in there because I saw someone say Dios te bendiga. I was like, okay.
Yes.
I gotta shout out to my Spanish community. I'm Spanish in another life. That's a joke. I don't believe in reincarnation. I gotta be clear with the Christians on here, because I don't want them to think I'm a reincarnated soul.
This is the only life.
Right. You know, my past life, you know. I was Spanish. I was a Venezuelan. Okay, so I have some would you rather questions.
Okay.
And you know, I haven't looked at all of them, so let me see here. Okay. Would you rather only wear one color each day, or have to wear 7 colors each day?
Probably one color.
Okay. Let's see. Would you rather be poor with lots of good friends, or rich with no friends?
Well, then I would be lonely.
You know, you'd have your money though.
But money,
you could pay for some fake friends.
Right.
Man,
I guess I would rather be poor and have, you know, people that love me genuinely.
That's your honest answer? Because I
Because
gotta think about that one.
if you're rich, you're gonna be you're not gonna trust that they genuinely care about you. They
Yeah.
may want to be around you for that, and so
Yeah, that's true.
I see
And
how
mhm.
God made fresh says gain the whole world and lose your soul. I mean, I agree. It's like gain the world, but then you lose your soul. I totally agree with that.
That's true. I was obviously joking. I wouldn't rather have a lot of money. Um, so would you rather it be hot all the time or cold all the time? That's a tough one,
I would say cold.
Cold.
Yeah.
Both of us will be extra pale though.
Yeah, but you know what? You can get under the covers and you can kind of warm yourself up. But if you're hot, you're hot. It's your skin. You're sweating and you can't help it.
Yeah, hot is annoying, but that cold be. I don't know. I'm in Georgia, so I'm not used to the cold. When the cold
I,
come, I'll be like, "Yo, what we doing?" Would you rather eat all of your food hot or all of your food cold?
hot.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know what they talking about. Would you rather have a head the size and shape of a basketball or a
What?
loaf of bread?
Basketball, I guess.
Goodness,
Somebody told
man.
me that on TikTok.
That's what they said. You saw that one?
Some, somebody just said, "Oh, potato." But I get called all kinds of names on there. But somebody said that. I'm
Oh
like,
wow.
I heard that.
They said potato head.
Yes.
You gotta. God say in the Bible you can turn them over to the devil. He do say
Oh,
that.
I,
You gotta.
I.
Mm-mm. Swine. Got that swine flu. Let me get you out of here. All right. Would you rather never open your eyes or never open your mouth?
uh, never open my mouth.
Okay. Okay.
There's a lot of nonverbal communication that you can have.
Yeah. How would you do your TikToks though? You'd have to type everything.
Oh, I've done plenty with the subtitles, and sometimes they get the most, of impact. I did one
Yeah.
recently with Noah. I don't know if you saw where I'm telling people as of now, I'm saying, repent, repent. God is going to pour his wrath into the world, and people are mocking me. Then I do a flashback of it being Noah saying the same thing, saying, repent, and people are mocking him.
Oh, I did say that. I did see that. Yeah. 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 I think you'd make it off pretty well. Um,
Plus, I don't really like public speaking anyway, so
exactly. So it's like, thank God,
why
I
would I do?
can't talk.
Why would I just speak over seeing?
A lot of people would think you're rude. What's up? What's up, Lisa? You not gonna say nothing? I
Right?
see you. I see you though. That's all that matters. I'm looking at you.
Oh,
Let's see.
thank you,
Would
Ben.
you?
He says, see, he agrees with me.
Yep. Some of the subtitle ones have been the most
Actually, I did
powerful.
abortion, and I
You
didn't
said
speak at
what?
all. I did a video on abortion, and I didn't speak at all, and it actually was one of the most watched videos on my TikTok account.
Mm,
It starts
yeah.
off with a pregnancy test saying, I just found out I'm pregnant, but it's all subtitles. I don't know if you saw that one.
I did see that one. I did see that one.
Yeah.
That was good. Matter of fact, I kind of want to get into that. I kind of want to get into that. So I'm just gonna make sure we don't forget that topic because I want to go back into it. Um, okay, so just a few more questions. Would you rather always talk in rhymes or sing instead of speak?
Well, I don't sing at all.
You don't
Um,
sing?
no. Oh, no, 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 no.
I thought God was telling me alto or something. I don't know.
Nope.
Maybe he talking
My
about
mom,
something else. I
my
don't know.
mom is on the live. She's so cute. Bendiciones. Hi,
Oh,
mommy.
your mom is an alto. That's what God was telling me. She's the singer, right? Does your mom
Nope.
sing? She don't sing either?
I mean, we sing. We sing worship songs, but we just don't sound like angels.
Oh, okay. Okay. As long as you don't sound like fallen angels, then
No.
you're good. Just don't sound like a fallen angel. Then
No.
we're good. But do both of y'all ice skate? Y'all ice skate together?
Who?
So you do like ice skating and stuff, right?
Yes, I used to. I haven't done
You
it in a
almost
while.
like it looks like you do it professionally.
Yeah, well, I took lessons with I had a Russian coach, and yeah,
Oh, okay.
I did testing, like I did get up to a certain level, but then I just stopped. And also because as you get older, like if you fall, it takes a lot longer to recover. And I
Wow.
can't afford to be in crutches or, just I just kind of don't do it as much, but it is one of my passions. It is one of my passions.
You just flying through the skate rink. You feel like
Uh, I feel
you
like I'm floating.
so you skate. You don't sing like an angel, but you skate like one.
There you go.
I'm understanding. It take a
Yeah,
minute, but I'm getting there.
and no speaking. There you go.
No speaking. You got your eyes open, mouth closed, and
Yes.
you just on the ice in the cold. It's
Yes.
making sense now, God. I understand what you're saying.
Someone asked, do I limit the type of music I listen to? Yes, 100%.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't listen to Cardi B. I don't listen to Drake or just those artists that promote so much sin. It bothers me if I'm listening to it on the radio and I hear what they're saying. There was this one song that Drake had that talked about he needs an honest girl and then a pretty girl and then this girl and like the type of girls that he needs all at once. I was just disturbed. I'm like, this is garbage. I mean, this is what we're feeding our
Yeah.
youth, this type of trash music. And then we wonder why the generation is so filled with so many lost souls and so many narcissists because this is what they're promoting, that this is the life you have to live, selfish life, all about me. The world
Mm.
says, follow your heart, and Jesus says, follow me.
Yeah. Said the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who could know it?
Yes.
The heart is deceitful, people. Music controls you, whether you want to admit to it or not. Whoever's around you controls you. I mean, obviously to a certain extent, but it's like that's why the Bible says in Psalms 1 and 2, meditate on thy word day and night. When you meditate on something, it begins to control your mind. It begins to take over your mind. So when you
Yes.
meditate on the word, that's what causes you to be changed. That's what causes you to be changed into a new creature. So you don't want a new creature to be somebody that's okay, like a man that's okay with wearing skirts now because you see Young Thug wearing it. Oh, I
Yes.
never wear a skirt, but then
Yes.
you're listening to the music and you start to vibe with somebody and you respect. It's like if people, that's the thing they tell you about sales. If people like you, you can sell them whatever you want. You can sell them whatever you want. Comedians, they like them. They can convince you of anything because they have gained your respect. So
Yes.
now I can I can go do some drugs and stuff. And that's what I tell people. I told somebody in my church, I said, one thing, I'm not worried so much about kids seeing you in your leadership position and going out promoting sin on Instagram and them pulling away from you. I'm not really worried about that. I'm worried about the kids that's going to say, oh, praise leader doing, this man of God doing it. I'm going to do it. It must be okay. I said, so
Yes. Yeah.
so at least have the decency not to promote it.
Well, so did you see the video I did on Cardi B? I specifically did that video
Yeah,
because she said, I want to thank God. And then she proceeded to blaspheme and
yeah,
continue. And I said, no, this is not blessings from God. I mean, look at what she's promoting. And you're going to have the young generation that may not know any better really think that she's a Christian, or
right.
that she's actually a reflection of God. Oh, she's doing that and she can be on OnlyFans and so can I. I mean, there's people that have OnlyFans and they think that with the Bible scripture on their main account, on their Instagram profile. And to me, it doesn't, I've seen it. They'll post something like a Bible scripture, but then you think, and I just think to myself, but that's not,
What?
you can't combine the two. You can't.
It's
And you
like
have young,
where do you draw the line? Like, what is there no grace? You know what
there
I mean? Like
is
people don't understand grace at all.
is no line at this point. This is the devil's not hiding anymore. He's out and about. He's being promoted everywhere. I don't know if you saw the Match commercial where the devil is literally being matched with people. Did you see that one? He's all in red and they're like, oh, I have a match. And then it's Satan. And look it
Wait,
up.
I think I saw the devil matched with 2020. That's the one I saw. I don't know if that's the same one.
It's a match. It's like a commercial that I saw that it's for Match.com, and then Satan is like being glorified, because then they fall in love, and he's now with Lil Nas coming out with the Satan shoes and the video, it's he's not hiding anymore. It's being promoted everywhere. So the line has been crossed. There's no line.
Yeah, my sister told her kids, you can't watch no more Hannah Montana because she has those shoes. So I said, well, I don't mind you taking it too far. As long as you don't, not give enough,
Right.
I don't mind, whatever you got to do. Because, she spoke to me and she was like, well, my mom said I can't watch Hannah Montana no more. I'm like, well, maybe she's doing too much, but at least she's not, allowing you to think that, Miley Cyrus is okay.
Right.
So it's like, I'm not going to worry too much about that. But yeah, I mean, we have to have a line drawn because this stuff is going to change us. It's going to control our minds. And even like it's crazy that we have come to a point. I mean, I remember even, I saw some episode I saw something with the Simpsons and they were praying. I was like, they prayed on the Simpsons? And way back then. So now everything is, the gospel music now is so similar to the old school, just love music back then. It's like it's starting to blend with, like I was talking with Mariah Dawn the other day, there's no line anymore.
Right.
It's just starting. Now you got Justin Bieber making gospel music. So it's like now gospel is all. That's why discernment is such a powerful thing, because people they're getting drawn in loopholes and trying to see, all right, what does the Bible allow me to do? That's my focus. Like, no, your focus is to love God and for him to teach you and to say, you shouldn't be doing this,
Right.
take heed. Don't you feel a little uncomfortable? Don't you feel like something's wrong? Pray about this. Don't say, well, I don't have any scripture to tell me why I'm wrong. It's probably in there and you ain't seen it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it is a lot of stuff going on. It's crazy. And you were talking about some forget what TikTok you just brought up. You said the Cardi B TikTok, and then you were speaking about, was it the I wanted to touch on something, the abortion. That is the one thing that I don't know why people don't understand. I fight for that like wholeheartedly, because people don't know there was a possibility that I was not going to be here. And in this day and age, ain't no telling. I probably wouldn't. And most likely I wouldn't. A lot of us would not be here if we were in this generation. That's scary. Like, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you right now. Just, people don't care. Like, you have the baby. That's my one thing, because they don't understand the logical argument. So I was like, okay, let me try to give you an emotional argument to see if you get that. You have the baby. Are you going to say, man, I wish I would have aborted this thing? No. Most likely they say the percentage of abortions after you see the baby is they're very low. That's why they don't want you to see the baby. They don't want you to get the I always forget the term. Ultrasound. Yeah. It's crazy. But you were going to speak about what do you guys think about the fig tree generation parable? Is that fig tree? I know the fig tree where he's
right. He cursed it.
Well, I just remember him, wanting to see if something happened he used the fig tree as a sign. If this happens, then it's of God. If it doesn't happen, then it's not, or something like that. I'd have to look more into that. I'm not even really sure. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know if you know about that, but I don't. I'd have to
Yeah,
look at
I
that.
have to also look up parables because sometimes like my study Bible explains the parables very well. But some of
Mhm.
them I actually go on YouTube and get more in-depth like research.
Yeah. So what were you saying? How did your TikTok video go as far as the abortion thing?
So I started the video with I'm holding a pregnancy test, and then I just found out I'm pregnant. I'm 17. God, please help me. And then all it's being all it's all subtitles. And then I'm just worried about my friends. What is my family gonna say? My life is over. Then I put the caption like God is speaking to me and saying, "Are you sure?" Then I put the caption again from God that says, "Would you like to see what you would be aborting?" And it's a yes or a
Mm.
no. Yes. And then I put pictures of my son, growing up, starting off as a baby, and then when he's a child, and us. We have this one picture. It's my favorite picture. Me and my son, where we're just going like this. We're kissing him on the lip, and he was a baby at the time, and I'm just going like that. And then, he keeps like getting older, and then you see one where we're playing basketball together, and like just him becoming one of my, like my buddy, my one like best friends, and just like my partner in life. Like this is my son. And then at the very end, I finish it off with Jeremiah that says, I knew you before I formed you in the womb. Before you were born, I already set you apart. And so that video, I didn't speak a word, but it was very touching. The response that I got was amazing. There was this one woman who sent me a DM, and till this day, I praise God. She was pregnant, and she was like, she's been debating whether or not she was going to keep it or not. She saw my video and she decided she was going to keep her baby. Praise God. I get no credit.
Wow.
Oh God. God wanted that video to touch her. I don't care how many views that baby needed to be born.
Man.
I have the DM saved, and I just thank God. I'm like, Jesus, only you can do that. Only God can do that, because you can sit and tell people, oh, don't get an abortion. I wanted to touch on the emotions. I wanted people to see like you're aborting a human life. This isn't it's just a clump of cells. That's always what you hear.
Yeah.
No, they have their DNA already. They have their genetic makeup. Everything is already set. The only difference between a 2-year-old toddler and a fetus that's 8 weeks is time and food. That's the only
Mm.
difference. Time and food. They already have their DNA. They already have their set, their genes and everything. So I just try to touch on people's emotions.
Mm. And they have this example. I don't know, maybe you've heard it. There's one person that, the kid um grew up. There weren't a lot of kids. He didn't have a lot of brothers and sisters. Um Parents very rich, very fortunate. He ends up, having a degree in engineering and a PhD in engineering and things like that. He's going to make a lot of money. Um, but then the other kid, he's got so many brothers and sisters that are already born, like
Mhm.
14 kids or something like that, 14 sisters and brothers. And the parents don't have any money. They're poor. The son, the kid is blind and deaf. Is it deaf in one ear, blind in one eye, or something? And well, it says partially deaf, partially blind. So, which kid do you think would be aborted? Which kid would most people? Obviously, we don't agree with abortion, but which kid would most people abort? They would abort, obviously, the one, they don't have a lot of money, probably can't support them too well. They would abort that kid. He's half deaf, he's half blind. Probably
Is
better off if they do that. Yeah.
that the
So
story?
it ends up being Beethoven.
Yes.
And the guy that they didn't abort ends up being Hitler.
Oh, my
So
cousin
you
on
never
here.
know.
Yeah, she wants me to. She goes, Lisa, debes hacer esto en español también. They want us to do this in Spanish.
Oh, well, hablo un poco de español. Uh, Let me see. Estudio español todos los días.
Wow, pero lo hablas
Mi,
bien.
Sí, aplicación Duolingo.
Okay.
So, you know, es muy duro. Uh,
You know, when you think of abortion, when Mary was pregnant with Jesus, right? She was a young mom. Would they have told her you should abort your baby, which would then be Jesus, the Messiah? It's like we, you know, who came to save us, who came to save the world, basically. We don't know what purpose that baby has. Then I get kickback. Some would say, well, what if it's a serial killer? What if it's Hitler? Wouldn't you want to abort, you know? And I just simply say, look, in the Bible, in Romans, it says God works all things together for the good of those who love him and are called according to his purpose. God can work everything. He can redeem everything. Anything that happens that's evil, God can redeem. An event that happens today, like, you know, let's just say the example of the abortion video. Let's just say that one girl stops from getting an abortion and then ends up having it. And that baby grows up and it's the one that finds a cure for cancer. So it's like, you know, you don't know how God works all things together. We may not be alive to see it because we're finite. We only live a certain number of years, right? 80 years max or 100 years max. But we may not be able to see how things unfold. There was this one little young girl who was killed brutally. And it was so sad. Her name was Amber. But through that one death, we now have Amber Alert. And thousands upon thousands of children are now saved because of Amber Alert. God can redeem evil. Something that was
right.
bad can turn out for the greater good. And God can turn it and save. You know, unfortunately, you know, one life may have been lost, but millions of lives can be saved. And that one life that was lost is most likely in heaven. So it's not like they are bad,
Right.
you know. I just feel like when I do get the kickback of, well, what if that person turns out to be bad? And I'm like, well, God will turn it into good. There will be, you know, he will redeem it. We may not be alive to see it, but trust that he will redeem it.
Yeah, and the sad part is they don't want to hear any logical arguments.
Because it's
I'm
a hard.
like, yeah, it's like I deal with people that I have disagreements with people all the time about everything. You know, if I didn't talk to anybody I disagree with, I got issues with. I mean, my own family, you know, we have disagreements, and I feel like at my house I'm more like the peacemaker because if so and so's arguing with so, like, oh, wait a second, what are you saying? What are you? I'm listening. I'm open
Right.
ears. Change my mind. You know, like Steven Crowder. Change my mind. I'm open. You know, and the one thing is, a human life. Like, well, we don't know if it's a human or not. Okay, but if you see it on the road and it's laying there, are you gonna err on the side of caution and not run it over? You know, like you would because it could be a human. So because it could be a human, I'm not going to keep driving. So that's the same logic that applies with a pregnancy. If it could be human, then I'm not going to abort it because we don't have the information. So that's not. And then the one argument that really is crazy to me. Well, wouldn't you rather? I'd rather abort it than it to be in the foster homes. I'm
Uh,
like, the
I,
suicide rate in foster homes is not nearly as high as the LGBT community, or I'll say that maybe transgenders. I'll get at that more. That suicide rate is way higher. I'm not, well, people are probably going to think I'm talking about aborting transgender people, but that's not what I'm saying.
oh.
My only thing is, we shouldn't, if the suicide rate in the foster care home is not high, then why do we think that those children would rather be dead? Would they say they would rather be aborted? I mean, I'm sorry, I would rather go through my junk, go through life in hardships than to be dead. So why would I want what's worse
You
and
know,
not
and what
even
I feel
exist?
about that is the irony on the opposite end of the spectrum. You have kids that are raised in mansions with a silver spoon in their mouth. And these kids are the ones that are in and out of rehabs, in and out of
Yeah.
doing drugs and getting wasted and just wasting their life away. So should they be getting aborted instead? Rich parents?
Right.
No.
If you use that logic they use, then
You
it
know
would
what
be
I'm saying? It's
yes.
logic
Yeah.
that you use. A lot of the rich kids are in and out of rehab centers because they're coked out. But we don't sit here and say, well, we should rich people should abort because their kids come out spoiled rotten.
Yeah. So it's actually illogical to say that the ones that are going through worse should be aborted because they're the ones that they grow faster and the suicide rate is lower. The issues that they have end up being lower. But the ones that are rich, if you look at the statistics, they're the ones that, have the most issues. So it's like this. I would pray like, yo, God, if I end up making money, getting famous, anything like that, if that's gonna take me to hell, I don't want it. So the
Right.
fact that
I
the
don't
fact
want
that I'm
nothing.
yeah, the fact that I'm
Listen,
able to pray that it just means that God money is not my God. And I'm not gonna have those issues. So with the logic really that they're speaking, they would be better off like um, aborting people that are
these are
born in
people
rich families, which
that
I don't
value.
agree with any of it, but
I feel like these types of people who say those things, oh, they're foster homes, like they're better off, being aborted. I think, you place a value on someone based on how much money they're worth instead of character. Because
exactly.
being in a rich home does not mean you have good character.
Yeah.
Being in a poor home and you can have, hello, like Jesus was a carpenter. He would say he didn't have a place to lay his head. And he is the King of Kings, Lord of Lords. And so money doesn't determine value. But people who say that, let me know what's in their heart. And they show me, oh, I see what you value. You value who has money, and that's worthy of living.
Yeah. It's different people. People are different. So like you got it just doesn't make sense for someone to already know if the kid is going to have a bad life. They already, because you can't afford. And my thing is, yo, stop having sex. that's the
That was
that's the issue.
that is something very hard.
I mean, obviously, it's not the. I mean, my thing is, there are other people always bring this up. There are other options, right? There are other options in abortion. I mean, come on. That's not anything necessary. There's so many other options. Like, I mean, obviously there's sin involved, and that's why you have to deal with this decision anyways. And you have to deal with that thought. But if, the Bible says if, what man could take fire in his bosom and not be burned, it's better to marry than to burn.
Yes.
So we're going to have some unhappy marriages to keep us from sinning, but it's either you be unhappily married with somebody or we're going to start murdering, like, I don't know. I'm not saying it's easy, but there are too many options to where you don't have to,
Right.
you don't have to kill the kid. That's my thing. And to view it as not, and to not know for sure.
Another thing people say, oh, well, what about rape victims? But I think it's only 1% that is rape victims that get abortions.
Yeah.
A great majority, like
Very
over
low.
percent, is convenience. They just don't want to be bothered. And so the rape situation, that in and of itself is very, very rare. Abortions are, I don't know how many abortions are done a day, but maybe like 50. They're not all like maybe one out of a month, maybe. I don't know. But I just feel like it's something where people try to tag on to, like, oh, well, what about rape victims? But you know what? But let's talk about the rape victims. Killing a baby, it's like, let's just say, if someone finds out that their father had committed a heinous crime, should they go and kill you for it? No, right? Because you're already alive. Well, we should still honor the same life of that baby. One sin doesn't trump the other. By killing the baby, you now become, bloodstain, that baby's blood on your hand. And so, because someone committed a sin towards you, you shouldn't go now and commit a sin towards an innocent life. I get that it's a trauma that I don't even want to think about, what that could be. But I just feel like it's a separate human life that's being affected, completely separate. And there's this one thing that's I saw that says a fetus has DNA that has never existed and will never exist again. It's only one. That one DNA is that specific to that one fetus. There is none ever before, and it will never happen again. That one fetus. So it's that one life.
Yeah, everything is already, the code is already there. What color your hair is going to be, the texture, the color of your eyes, your all this stuff is already in their DNA before you're, well, I'm not going to say before you're conceived, when you're conceived. And that's the thing. Let me see, who knows that baby could be an advocate for right? Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Poetic lot gal.
Poetic.
You got it. You understand. And that's the thing I was gonna say. Well, I wasn't gonna say that, but I was gonna touch on that. The rape, that should be. I feel like, why are we not just having those conversations? Why are we? I don't get how we're just talking about abortion in general. That doesn't make sense to me. Why we have to defend killing something that, well, I just say it for everybody, killing something that leans on the side of being a human. I know it's a human, but just, for everybody else who don't know, the fact that we're having a discussion to say, okay, in case it's a human, let's not kill it. The fact that we got to say that, maybe it'll be a dog, who knows? But just in case God does work and the biological system that has been set up for years, generations, is still working and is still a human, let's just err on the side of caution and let's not do it. But you want to talk about the 1%, fine. Let's just talk about that and just negate all the other abortions. Let's stop talking about the other abortions. I'm not saying not talk about it, but let's stop bringing it up and justifying other abortions.
Yes.
But as far as rape goes, it's like you said, the woman's heart doesn't stop hurting. When, okay, I don't want to speak too fast, because my goal when I come on here, anybody that disagrees with me, I don't want to just say stuff like I'm on a certain team. I do want to minister. So if someone gets raped, I just want them to answer for themselves. Matter of fact, does it take away the pain? Does that abortion mean that you're not hurt from that rape anymore? Because really, it's rape and it's murder at the same time. I would think that it would cause more issues, but they have to answer that for themselves. But even that is still not right. And because this person had association with this other guy, I'm going to kill this person so I don't have to think about this person. Because then you got to think, what if you have the baby and the baby's like 3 years old? Why would you not kill the 3-year-old? Because it reminds you of the rapist. It's like, now you have to answer, you still got to answer the question of when is it viable? You shouldn't do the abortion when it's conceived, because that's when the DNA is formed. Like that, it still goes back to that same answer. Because now you're like, when is it okay to basically abort a child of a rape? When is it okay to do that?
I like how
when they reach 3.
Words it differently. When he ministers on the street, and he'll say, "When is it okay to kill a baby in the womb? While it's in the womb." He'll word it that way. When is it okay to kill a baby? Because you're giving it, life. You're saying a baby. It's not yes, it's a fetus. That's the medical term, but it's a human life. And so for someone to answer, "Oh, it's okay to kill it when," and they use the word "kill it." It's okay to kill it when, maybe up to this month. And I'm like, you use the word "kill." Like, how do you not recognize? In order to kill someone, it needs to be alive. And so, it's very sad, but unfortunately, that's what Like, I see here it says worldly culture is too sexually explicit, and it's only getting worse.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be on it, but there's pictures of the 1950s. Like, you see how women dressed back then, and now you see how the women are dressing now. They're more and more and more provocative. Everything is just becoming
Yeah.
less. Now you have, OnlyFans, like that's like the new thing, and you have people out here promoting their bodies. They're promoting their
And
body.
and I'm worried about when it comes time because men walk around with their shirts off. I don't do that anymore because I'm trying to fight. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to kill the double standard. So I'm just worried it's gonna get to a point where women are gonna be able to post stuff and do stuff and not have to wear anything covering themselves up. It's gonna be simple. They're gonna find a way to say, well, just like men, boom, equality. I'm surprised they haven't been able to do it yet. I'm sure they've done it some places. I'm worried about that. I'm like, yo, it, who is at these? I won't say cakewalks, and for lack of the other term. Who's at these walks? It's not men that are loyal and support you. It's the men that want to see you in the wrong way. Those are the ones that's joining it because you out there, showing your body. It ain't no loyal men coming around y'all.
And these women, I know some of them, they're educated women. It's not just an app where people, they need to make money. They have no means of making money. But these are women with master's degree, and just educated women are on here promoting their bodies. And I said, but you don't even have to, and you do it anyway. So it's you see how it's just the morality is declining so much. They hide behind women empowerment, but yet then they get upset when they are being sexualized by men, right? When they're coming on to them too strong. I saw this one post of this woman because it just happened to show up on my For You page on TikTok. But she had a video where she was very seductive, and then in the caption she put, "Any perverted comments will be blocked." What are you inviting? You're baiting perverted comments. You're putting your body out there specifically for perverted men. Do you think a man of God is going to approach you and say, "Yes, woman of God," or "You're so, delightful," or whatever? I just
You
feel like
look just like Eve.
I
You
don't
look just like your mother Eve.
you promote sex, and then you get mad when that's what comes
Crazy.
back. And so I feel like it's weird, like how distorted our minds are getting. You can even see that they're starting to distort our kids. They're starting to put, they're starting to put more gay cartoons. They're starting to become more open with LGBTQ, and I have nothing but love and support for the LGBTQ. I just want, to speak for the truth, right? Sin is sin. But it's very scary how they're over sexualizing even the children now, where they want kids to be able to decide what gender they should be by a very young
Yeah.
age. If they are allowing surgeries to happen to teenagers, okay, this is what I say. If they're allowing surgeries to take place for teenagers to decide if they want to, transition, what's going to stop them from now giving young children the right to be able to have sex, the right to choose to have sex? And then you're going to allow pedophilia to come in. I'm telling you, morality is declining by the decade. It's getting worse before you know it. Things that were evil are going to be good, and things that are good are going to be called evil.
Yeah.
I
It's already happening.
had made a post about abstinence, and somebody had commented and said, "Oh, that's toxic." Abstinence is toxic. Can you hear this? But sleeping around and possibly, catching who knows what, unwanted pregnancies, abortions, and all of the soul ties that you make when you are sleeping around with people, that's not toxic. But
It's
being
all
pure,
convenient now. It's convenient. You can do what you do with somebody, and you can have sex, and then you can just abort the baby. You don't have to. Who needs
people
birth
use
control?
as a morning pill, as a morning after pill. People just get abortions done like it's nothing. So the louder they get with their sin, the louder I get with my God, and I preach Jesus. I preach the truth, because at the end, God called us to be, the salt and light of this earth. He wants to go and make disciples of man. So that's what I'm going to preach. I'm hoping that one young girl who may, be influenced by the world may see my ministry and be like, well, here's this young woman. She's not out here showing her body. She's not out here, promoting this. She's promoting God. Okay, well, maybe I could do that. I'm just, my target audience is the youth. I want the youth to see my ministry. I want the youth to see how, God has transformed my life, how much peace I have in my life. In fact, I've never had more peace in my life. Since before Jesus, I was so empty and void. And now post Jesus, doesn't matter what I go through, I praise him and I feel peace. I can't describe it. I can't. It's just, you really can't describe it. The peace that surpasses understanding.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that this conversation was definitely productive.
Yes.
I don't want to go too far. I try to keep it, in an hour, but I mean, you said you were shy, but you got a lot to say.
Fire, man.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. You definitely. I just want you to keep going. Keep doing God's will. I know it gets tough, but God. I mean, doing it without God is just, it doesn't make sense. It's like when you're going through those trials, and some of those trials you don't even have to go through because you did what God told you to do. But then when you do go through those necessary trials, you got God with you when you're going through the trials.
Amen.
So it's totally different than just, people are dying out here. People don't believe. They say, Ashlee, you're the Jesus guy. That's cool. That's cool that you got that thing going. And I'm like, why is Jesus a trend? That doesn't make sense. Jesus being a trend, this
trend?
is, yeah. It's like, this is how people talk about it. Like, Jesus is a trend. It's like, no, don't look at.
Somebody did say that. They were like, because I had said, follow my ministry on Instagram. I put that on TikTok. And then somebody commented, oh, please, you're just trying to get fame and clout. And I said, so I would use the most hated figure, like somebody who people don't, they don't want to come to get somebody to come to Jesus. It's literally it's not easy. It's really not easy. And you get called, you get called out. You're the one that stands out. You're going against the grain. Everybody's hooking up and I'm the one that's abstinent. I'm going against the grain. You think that I'm doing this to get fame or clout? Are you kidding me? I'm like, that's not even. If I wanted to do that, I would be wearing skimpy outfits and I would do it another way. I'm like, this ain't it.
If you start a OnlyFans page, people are gonna be like, well, she's trying to make her money. She's trying to support her family. It's like, what?
Women empowerment.
It's okay. I respect her. She got to do her.
But you make up, Jesus. You preaching Jesus. Oh, you're weird. You're weird.
Yeah, you trying to use Jesus to make money.
Wants to happen to you so badly. Why are you all preaching about Jesus? Like, people think that when you come to God, it's like, oh my gosh, what happened? Are you okay? Like, is something wrong? And I'm thinking, actually,
He's
something
been trending
was wrong
for centuries. That's right.
I said, listen, something was wrong pre-Jesus. Before I had Jesus in my life, that's when I was depressed. I'm like, you are asking me too late, because now that I found him, now I have true peace in my heart. Now that I have him. Because people think when you come to Jesus, is everything okay? No, actually, nothing. Things have never been better, actually. So, I mean, praise God.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about this all day. You feel me, son?
I talk about Jesus all day, every day. Let me tell you something. That's my life.
Yeah. It's definitely been fun. I love doing stuff like this, but now, eventually, I don't know if you want to do this on the air or off the air, because I'm not gonna, try to embarrass nobody, because if I'm wrong, I'm definitely willing to, think the way you think about this. But That has been one thing that I've been researching a lot, front to back, backwards and forwards, the deity of God.
Okay.
And eventually I definitely want to have that conversation with you.
Okay.
You just let me know, because I don't, if it's not something that you really into doing, that's cool. But
No, I'm down. I'm
yeah,
down.
okay, cool. So we'll have you back. Whenever we get you back on the lineup, or you know, then we can have that discussion, get all prepared, study our notes and stuff like that. Then we can have, a godly conversation.
Awesome.
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little intimidated because you be preaching the word, you be speaking the
Woo!
word. So I gotta so I gotta come with it. But yeah, I just, I like talking about stuff like that. That's my what they call a candy stick, the deity of God. That's what I love to talk about. But yeah, had a good time.
Me too.
Yeah, if you want to just share, maybe give 2 minutes and, share what you want to speak to the people, encourage them, let them know what you've got going on, where to find you, everything like that.
Yes, Instagram, Anna.ministry, and then TikTok is just Anna Ministry. But I just want to really advise anyone watching this to please pick up your Bible and read, even if it's once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week. I think it is very important that you don't just get your dose of God through just Christian content creators. It is important that you read the word for yourself, because then you can test the spirit. You can test my spirit. You can test Ashlee's spirit. Sometimes we're fallible, so there's going to be things that we're going to say that may be wrong, and I'm apologizing now in advance. But when you are in the Word of God, God will give you that discernment to be able to make the right choices, and which path to take. So my biggest suggestion, my biggest wish is take it. I'm thinking about doing like a live Bible study. I don't know. God just kind of placed it in my heart recently, because I think some people, I'll be honest, just may be lazy, So I was thinking, maybe I could do a live and just do a Bible study session once a week. So I'm going to think about doing that. But I do recommend that you read the Bible. If somebody says, where do you start in the Bible? I always recommend the book of Luke. I like starting with the book of Luke. I think it's powerful. It is great. It is life-changing. I genuinely like it. I also love Proverbs. It's the book of wisdom. And there is this one verse that really hit me. It says, a man who remains stiff-necked after many rebukes will be broken beyond repair. So I want to read that again. A man that remains stiff-necked after many rebukes will be broken beyond repair. If you are broken and God doesn't repair you, who can help you? Who can heal you? Good luck.
They trying to get us never in it.
If it says that you are broken beyond repair, my friend, it is over. And so I just recommend that you give God a chance, get into the word of God and allow him into your life and into your heart. Once you read his word, you'll see how your life is going to start transforming. You're going to start to feel conviction with things that never, bothered you before. You're going to start to feel guilty. It is really important that you read the word for yourself and not just get your influence of God from social media. Because I did a post on that where I said, do you have a relationship with God outside of social media? Yes or no? A lot of people say yes, but I know I'm guilty of it too, where sometimes I don't read my Bible all the time, but I do have a notepad and I always put today's date and then where I left off, Matthew 11:12. And then I'll read it and then I'll put, okay, I finished here, Matthew 12:13. And then tomorrow I'll pick up where I left off until I finish the book. And then I cross it from my list. But it is super important to read scripture. Please read the scripture. That's really my biggest thing.
Cool. Well, guys, that was Ashlee Keyton, just Ashlee Keyton reporting for duty. And we have Lisa, founder of Anna Ministry. Had a great day. Going to have her back. Talk about the Godhead. You can call it oneness versus Trinity if you would like. Going to get our studies on, and hopefully I don't embarrass my clan. But no, we're going to have her back, and we're going to have some great godly dialogue. So yeah, I'm so glad that you came on. Had a great time.
Thank you. having me. It was such a pleasure meeting you and talking to you.